So when I talk about Star Wars games, I tend to talk about the contrast between pre- and post-Lucas Star Wars games. On one side you've got Knights of the Old Republic, Battlefront 2, Republic Commando, and Jedi Outcast as some of the very best before the dark times. And on the other side you've got Fallen Order. I've personally said that Fallen Order is very overrated and is an okay adventure game that was overpraised for it being some of the only not garbage content Disney was putting out. How do you think The Mandalorian got so popular? Where I'm essentially going with this is that despite the thriving Lucas era, when it comes to video games, before the year 2000, there was a lot of terrible quality control. There were plenty of well-received Star Wars games, like Super Star Wars and Dark Forces, but there was also a lot of very crap video games. One of these games was Star Wars Masters of Teräs Käsi, or was it Teräs Käsi? The game never says how it's pronounced to my knowledge, so I'll just call it Teräs Käsi, cause that has a better ring to it. Masters of Teräs Käsi is a Star Wars fighting game, the only one of its kind to my knowledge. On paper it sounds like an instant hit. A Star Wars fighting game, with all the characters and powers and shit? Sign me up. The game was released in 1997, and even with the original trilogy being the only Star Wars movies at the time, there was plenty to choose from, but they fucked it all up. But first, the opening crawl. Apparently the Emperor, after the destruction of the Death Star, recruited a young woman named Arden Lyn, who was a master of Teräs Käsi, a martial art. That's literally the only story we get in this entire game. After that, there's nothing. Wouldn't it be nice to have a story beyond that? Well, anyways, we're supposed to choose a fighting game mode. Arcade mode is basically casual fun. Survival mode is holding off against as many characters as you can with one life. Team mode, which is basically two teams of fighters fighting each other. And the next one comes in after every elimination. And then practice mode, which is basically dicking around and you can't lose health. No story mode. When I started this game, I chose to be Han Solo, and for some fucked up reason, this game has a very limited selection. When the game starts, you only have a measly 8 characters. Yeah, that's right, 8 characters. Aside from the common sense characters, there's no one else from the original trilogy. No Ben Kenobi, no Lando, no Emperor Palpatine, nothing. And get this, Darth Vader has to be unlocked. Yeah, so the bullshit EA pulled concerning unlocking Vader in Battlefront 2 wasn't the first time that happened, because Masters of Teräs Käsi did it first. So basically you have to do something to unlock Vader. I didn't play the game long enough to unlock shit, so I was stuck with the characters in question. Unlockable characters also include Stormtrooper, which shouldn't be an unlockable, Leia in a bikini, Mara Jade, and Jodo Cast, who for context was a guy who posed as the one and only Bobby Fett before being killed by said person. Given Jodo Cast was an insignificant character from a comic or something, is that really the best character to program into the game? When you get around to starting the game, you'll notice that you don't get to choose which arena you'll be fighting in, or who you'll be fighting. The game just selects it for you. More custom match options would have been nice. You start playing the game, and it's terrible. The controls are unclear and the movement is sloppy and slow. The game isn't particularly unresponsive, as the basic controls are fine, but I could never figure out how the fuck I was supposed to pull off special moves. Since this game has garbage controls, movement, and animation, the AI have a massive advantage over you. Simply moving left and right, up and down is a hassle because the button mapping is the most nonsensical mapping I've ever seen in my entire life. You're supposed to press L1 and L2 for the movement up and down, and it's a pathetic joke. Since you can't figure out how to do special moves, the AI will pull out overpowered special moves against you, and you're screwed there if that happens. As mentioned before, the movement is sloppy and slow. The animations feel like Last Jedi choreography or something. And the sound effects are generic as all hell, especially the hitting. And on top of that, the whole thing is just mash buttons and hope that you're lucky, because there's no room to be a skilled player. It's all based on mashy luck. How could this have passed? The only thing good about this game is the memeability in a certain character, a Tusken Raider named Hoar. The most enjoyment I got out of this game was playing as or against this character. The dirty stinking Hoar was the sole survivor of the tribe Anakin Skywalker slaughtered out of sheer rage after they killed his mother. So when I was fighting against Luke Skywalker, I was like, your father killed my people, and now I'll kill you. Revenge! If this game was more mainstream, there would be a lot of Star Wars Hoar jokes alongside your winner from Big Rigs. To be honest, I wasn't expecting this game to be as bad as people said, but playing it, I can see where they're coming from. Let me say this firsthand. Superman 64 is a way better game if you're using a normal controller on an emulator instead of the controller designed by aliens. This game, on the other hand, is crap no matter what you play it on. This game deserves its reputation as a trash-ass cash grab meant to experiment on a certain genre with the Star Wars brand and failed miserably. No story, lack of content, and terrible movement and controls. I'm only giving this game a 2 out of 10 because I love Hoar. He's my bitch. So with that being said, that's my short yet sweet review of Star Wars Masters of Teräs Käsi. I'm JJ Plagiarisms. And until next time, what are stories but mystery boxes?
Under the mountain, a golden fountain. Were you praying at the